Hi guys and welcome back to the channel. Today's video is a colour along page in Hannah Lynn's Enchanted Faces. I have this pocket sized edition. We're doing this page here. I've already done the skin in marker in a quick tutorial a few days ago. I will link that down below in the description, so if you want to do that at the end you can. And in the meantime, bear with me, I'll see, there we go. We're going to start with her hair. I want to do a really fun red, orange, yellow combo because I've been really enjoying that combo this month. But I'm going to do a different set to what I have been. I've been using my brute feelers. So you just want to pick kind of a deep red, an orange and a yellow. It really doesn't matter. Use whatever you have. If you've watched my colour combinations video, that's actually, it might not be up yet. Hang on. I take that back. It might not be up yet. So in case it isn't up yet, if you've got the brute feeler squares, you could do 006, 005, 002. That's a beautiful red, orange, yellow combo that I've used a few times already. If you have these Colorya Imaginor pencils, you could use the 567 Raspberry, 737 Bright Orange or 235 Sunflower. I will pop these down below in the description because they are what I'm using. But again, whatever you want. This is a slightly darker red than the combo I've been using. I just wanted to try something different for a change. And all we're going to do in Hannah Lynn, I like to use a really simple hair technique. So I literally take my dark colour, put it down nice and thick at the end, and then fade it off into nothing, ready for it to go into the next colour. We'll do a couple of strands, nice and dark, fade that off into nothing, and then you do exactly the same process from the bottom and bring it up, fade that off into nothing, and then you take your orange. I go over the top of my red, like quite a reddy orange, and again I bring that down a little bit further and I fade that off into nothing. Hope you guys are keeping well. I am exhausted, and you guys will learn why in my colour and chat I'm going to do. Yes, I know, another colour and chat already. I've actually had things going on in my life. Then our yellow, and I just lay that firmly right over the top of that combination. Right, back to our red. Let's choose a thicker piece that will be more difficult. Let's do this one. So again, I'm just going to lay it down quite thickly and then fade that right off into nothing. I'm cheating, I'm getting 2 jobs done at once. This is a body colour page with the wonderful JoJo's Hannah. Say, I'm working on our page, Joanna. That's not the best fade off I've ever done, I'm not going to lie. Bring our orange down that little bit further and fade that all the way off. The better you blend your fade out, the nicer this will look. So be a little bit careful and try and do it properly. Not my scratchy attempt here. I'm going to fix that by bringing my orange pretty much all the way in. And then again, we add our yellow into the centre. And it really is the easiest version of hair that I do. I love just relaxing in Hannah Lynn books and just doing these really funky 3-tone. And once you've got the entire thing set down, it will look a lot more striking. So we'll do one more lot and then I will disappear and do these billion hair strokes off camera and come back to you guys for the next bit. Bear with me. We're just fading that all the way out. Just going to deepen that bit there up. Not sure I'm totally keen on this pinky red as my darker colour, but we'll roll with it. See what it looks like. Again, bring that down a little bit further than the red faded off. The smoother you do that, the better your yellow will look. So just try and get it to really just disappear off into nothing. And then add some yellow. And there we have it. So rinse and repeat, everything's the same, even the bent pieces, just dark, medium, light. I don't bother with curls. Like on a proper page, I'd make, you know, the inside of my curls darker. I don't do that. I just dark, medium, light, and it will be absolutely fine. So I will get this hair done and then we will be back. Okay, so hair is completed. We're going to work on our background now. I have, let me see now where I have put it. So organised, Emma, so organised as usual. I cannot remember where I found it. Right, I have a medium blue for the sky alcohol marker. In this one, this is the Light Wish set. I've got number 66 baby blue, just a medium blue, anything will do. And I've gone with a metallic purple gel pen for the border edge and a white gel pen to outline our clouds. And I'm going to take a very pale grey, so we'll go with a cool grey 2, also in the Light Wish set, for the base of our clouds. You'll be, what was I going to say then? Don't know, no idea. Right, so we'll take the light grey. I have just the small nibs, and you're just going to base the bottom edges of each cloud. So you're just giving it, so bottom right of each cloud, just giving it a little bit of shadow and depth in along the bottom edges. I'm just using a very pale shade. So we'll have a bit in here. Trying to decide whether I might change the shape of those clouds. So what we'll do is we'll grab a little one black, you know, like a fine liner, and I'm just going to add a little round edge to add a cloud end to that. So I'm going to do this like it's sky, and then we're going to take our blue. As always, guys, I think I've missed a tiny bit of hair there. We are going to work slowly back and forth, not allowing the colour to dry so that we don't end up with street lines, you know, where the two edges meet. And I've got paper underneath my page, couple of sheets as always, because I find that they can bleed straight through a second piece. so you have to be careful with that. I tend to have about 3 sheets of copy paper under there. And I think we're going to end up with a little bit in the bottom of her. That's going to be her sleeve, I think, so just this corner here. Yep. Right, so your edging will just be your metallic gel pen. I just tend to go back and forth. I find that gives me the smoothest finish in these little spaces, so you don't end up with any kind of smudge lines or it looking kind of bitty and piecemeal. Just back and forth, back and forth. Even with these are really cheap big pack of gel pens that you can get kind of anywhere really, and you just work your way across. And that would be your metallic border done. And then we're going to, I've been using the Imaginor pencils so far by Colorya, so I'm going to continue in that vein, and I want a deeper blue to edge this sky in, so I'm going to go with, I'm going to go along the same tones, so and go with, in the Colorya Imaginor set, I've got Ocean Blue 443 and Blueberry 467. But essentially what you want is something a little bit darker than your alcohol marker, and then deeper still than that, quite a dark blue. Any will do, whatever set you're using, it doesn't matter. You're just going to bring that medium tone in and fade it off. And do the same around the edges of these clouds a little. And just fade that all the way off. And same from this side inwards. And just a little bit across the top. There's not a lot of sky to work with, so we don't need to mess too much. I've had this Lightwish, this Lightwish set for a little bit and just started using them, and I'm going to be honest, I don't like the way they really buckle the paper. Now I've used Ohuhu and the Arrtx and even the touch markers that I hate that bleed through everything for months, and never really experienced the amount of buckling I'm getting with these Lightwish. So I'm not sure how long those are going to be hanging around. I did a page in my Chibi horror, and I'll get it. It's so nice having everything in this room, guys. Like I've done loads of pages in here, all in alcohol marker. You guys know, if you've watched my channel, that's how I like to work in these, and there's just no issue with my pages at all. And then look at this one page, you can see it before I even open the book. I can open straight to it. This is the page that I did in those markers, and it's just completely buckled the page like a watercolour. So yeah, I'm not wonderfully keen. I mean, that is such a tiny space for alcohol marker, and it's obviously that they, you know, if you're using good paper, I would imagine these are probably brilliant because they must be really juicy, and that must be why. But I'm not keen on what it's doing to my Chibi paper. So then I'm going to take my darker blue, this blueberry, and I'm just going to pop that just around the edges, and I'm just going to come in a little bit but not as much as with the other blue. I'm just going to give myself that really rich, deep, very edge of that sky. So I'm going to do the same thing this side, really deepen that up, and then just bring it in a tiny bit. So just got that really nice deep edge, and then we're going to do that same thing again and just fade it out immediately. So there's not a lot to it. It doesn't come far in. Okay, slipped a little bit on that corner there, so we'll just see if we can lift some of that off, lighten that up. Right, so we then take our white gel pen and we go over the edges of those clouds. To kind of run back and forth a little bit, just to keep that white line kind of decent. I must admit, I tend to, I've kicked my bin over every time, hang on. Nope, I'll get it after. The Uniball Signo does seem to be the white gel pen that I always return to. And they go over marker lovely because you don't get that wax build up on the nibs. Or the one thing I will always say about a white gel pen, as messy as this might seem, I always clean the nib off. Yes, with my fingers, guys. I would probably advise a bit of tissue instead when I'm done, and I find that it really extends the life of them, so they're not going to be, what is the word? Catching and skipping. Right, I dislike these enough that I'm going to select a blue in a different marker set. I'm going to go to my trusty Ohuhu, which I do like. I've got some of the old set here, trying to use them up. I do have a brush set now, but these are the old Ohuhu Alcohol markers. I've got the 74 here, and I just use the fine nib end. I want my hearts to be blue. Ooh, this might be a bit dark. Doesn't really matter. The way around it is to then use a lighter pencil. Make sure your paper's all the way in. Figured some blue hearts would contrast nicely with my hair colour. I'm just going to alcohol base all of those. I think we'll do these little ribbons the same colour. in her hair. Got a couple down here. See? Smooth paper, crinkled paper. And the pencil goes over so much nicer. It's almost like this has killed the paper off and then the pencil really just eats it alive. Whereas usually you wouldn't have a problem. And what I'm going to do now, because that blue was a little bit darker than I wanted, I'm going to select a lighter blue and a really dark blue. So I've just gone with the Blueberry again, 467, and this Robin Egg Blue, 428 this time. I'm going to take my dark blue and I'm going to pop that around into the bottom base of my hearts, fade that off a little bit and up into the right. I'm just going to give that a little bit, a very simple dimension. So just kind of a C shape and into the bottom. We'll do one more together, then I'll leave you to do those hearts. So just in across the bottom, bit of depth, fade it off, and then we take our lighter blue. I'm going to pop a little bit of that into kind of the top sections of my hearts, and it just, which ones did I do? There we go. It just lightens it up that little bit. Nice and simple. And then for these hairbands, I think I'll just add a little bit of the darker colour to each side of each little strip, leaving the middle a little bit paler. Nice and easy. You can always add a tiny bit of that lighter blue if you want the middle to pop a little bit. Okay, so you just do the layers in the rest of those hearts, and then clothes. Are we sticking with, are we adding any more colour, or are we sticking with blue? I might add a green, I might add some green. Should we do that? I think we will. I think we'll make her top green. I think that might be pretty. Let's see what green tones we want. Okay, we'll do that. So I've got soft green 319, moss 346, forest green 356. As always, guys, doesn't matter, light, medium, dark. You could also alcohol base this if you want, and then it literally cuts out your medium. In fact, we'll do that because I did say I would show you guys that a little bit more often now, didn't I? So we will take a medium marker in green. I'm using the Ohuhu again in 43, but it doesn't matter, just a medium green, and that means I can remove the mid-tone green that I'd selected from that set. Oh, again, is that too dark? Always try your markers before popping them on the page. That is very dark, so we'll use that for the trim. Might need that medium green back again to work on that, we will see. So we're going to do that as the little edging pieces. That's the problem with cheap alcohol markers. You've got to remember they're always going to be darker than they look. Right. Okay, so I'm going to take this number 47, and this time, right, okay, We're going to do the rest of the top in that marker, as always, not letting the edge dry. Don't get any smears and streaks that way. I think this pen might be on its way out. It's a shame about those light wish. I had quite a big set of them as well. But we'll see. We'll see. I'll try them on a different paper and see how I feel about it. Oh, dark bit that I missed there. We'll do that bit as well. Okay, I'll take my dark green. We'll see if it'll go over this trim. I'm just going to pop that. Oh yeah, it's fine. In the bottom edge of the trim, a little bit of shade, a little bit of shadow. Up this side. Just fade that into the middle. Do the same here. Bit of shade and shadow across the bottom of that trim. And this piece. Never do an alcohol base usually, but trying to branch into it. Can see why people enjoy it because it does speed up the process. I was struggling before to find a way that I liked the finished result, but what I have found, weirdly enough, because I was testing these pencils, I like oil pencils, I like a firm pencil lead, but they don't really go wonderfully over alcohol marker sometimes. I was finding that they just didn't sit and blend and create what I wanted them to. And what I've found so far, I'm early into this experiment, so with a pinch of salt, people, is that I do prefer using like a predominantly wax-based softer pencil over the top of an alcohol base. It just seems to blend in and kind of mesh with the base better for my colouring style anyway. We will play anyway, and I will experiment a bit and we'll try some different pencils and we will see, but that's how I found it to be so far. So I'm just essentially just edging everything a little bit dark, leaving the top edges light, except for in here I'm going to add a little bit of shadow like that. Little trim is, you know, overhanging that. And as always, just fading that in. I feel like that maybe should have been part of a top, but we're gonna live with it being hair now. So I'm gonna take my pale green now. I'm gonna work that into the top sections where I would usually put my highlight. might go back in again with my dark colour and just emphasise those kind of darker edges where we'd have some shadow. Yep, just under here again, down here. Okay, colour our dot's gonna be. Green and yellow makes sense, really, doesn't it? I'm just gonna take a yellow pencil. Take the one I used for the hair. Sunflower in the Imaginor 235. Any bright yellow. And I'm not really gonna mess around here and pop different colours in. I'm just gonna pop a straight yellow dot onto that. Trim. Straight across. There we go. It's a little fun. Eyes. Green or blue. I mean, she's a redhead. Maybe even a bit of both. We'll take the 3 greens that we selected already, and I'm going to add into that maybe a bit of yellow and the deep blue that I had. So I'm going to take and I'll bring you in, guys. I know this is something you want to see properly, so I'm going to bring that deep blue around the very centre there. Same. So we've got that bit of blue. And I'm going to throw out some little splashes. Just little random pieces. And then throw in a couple. Try and make them, you know, different. Not too many, just a few. And I'm going to take our very dark green and we're going to pop that in across the top there and just bring it down around the edge of that blue. Just outlining the top and the blue. Try not to cover your blue up. Same again. I'm going to take my medium green. I'm going to add a little bit of texture here, so I'm like leaving, almost doing little boxes, so I'm leaving space in between that medium green, and in there I'm going to pop some little bits of yellow. Eyes made simple. Here we go. So just some little bits of yellow almost inside those boxes, and then we can take our medium green again. I'm just going to bring that along that bottom edge and down a little bit from that dark green. And then from there we take our palest green and avoid your yellow, but kind of blend everything else in together. Just work around that yellow again. And then I'm going to take my darkest green, real good point. I'm just going to add a few green flecks to go over those blue ones and next to, just to add some texture to the eye. And a whole lot going on there, but when you come back out, it'll look a little bit more eye-ish and less crazy. A little bit. They were probably a bit rushed. I'd probably do them a bit slower than that. I tend to, with my Hannah Lynn pages, I like to match the lips to the hair. Less like the hair's blue. Well, then even maybe, I don't know. But yeah, so I'm going to take my 3 hair colours from before. I'm going to take my dark green. I just want to smooth. I feel like it's a bit choppy in the top. There we go. Right. So I've got the one thing I will say is I like these Imaginor pencils, but the writing is starting to rub off. Not good. Not good. So this 567, I think it was, can't actually remember, 737 bright orange and 235 sunflower. I'm going to take that pinky red colour and just pop that in the right hand side, fade that off, and in the bottom I'm going to bring it down across the bottom there. And fade that off, and I'm going to take that orange, bring that in from the pink, and in from the pink, and this time I'm going to add a bit of the orange to this side as well. And then I'm just going to pop my yellow in the spot I've got left. You could adapt this 3 colour blend to any colours you want to use, by the way, guys. You know, her hair can be 3 tones of blue, 3 tones of purple, 3 tones of pink. We're just going to deepen up the blue centres, smooth those in. There we go. Right, so I'm leaving the tattoos as just black outlines, is kind of how I feel about those. We have this butterfly, and we're going to want him to stand out, aren't we, really? So I'll probably take that paler green colour that we used for the top, pop that straight over that entire butterfly for my base layer. And I'm going to take my dark green, that forest green 356, any dark green, and I'm just going to bring that out and blend that off from the base of his wings, just so you're giving him a dark to light blend. A bit of interest. I'm going to do that everywhere, just darken the base and lighten that up. And I'm going to fix that bit of hair that I missed. Just add a bit of pink and a bit of orange. Right, I think we're going to take our, I like a black gel pen for this, and I use the glaze pens for this. I like that really glossy and a 3D texture, so whatever you might have, just gives it a shiny black. I'm actually going to do his body in that and his little head, and I want to do her fingernails as well. And what I tend to do with this is I will leave a little strip white, and it creates an automatic highlight. I'm not going to do that on these. So I feel like they're pointing down and not catching the light like that one would be. But yeah, I just literally leave a little sliver and it gives an automatic highlight with those. So there's my black fingernails. You could have done blue or green or orange, doesn't matter. I just don't feel the need for them to stand out. Right, let's see. I think that blue to green blend needs a little bit of help. I'm going to pop a little bit of an aqua tone. So I'm going to take this turquoise 405. I'm going to run that between the blue and the green. Just to calm down the edge of that blend. There we go. I'm never happy with ice, never. Right, essentially we have left a bottle. We'll have a little bit of green portion in there, whatever this toxic looking stuff is. I'm going to do green bubbles as well. I'm going to follow my heart theme in the blue. So we might as well do the lid in the same. I'm going to add a bit of my darker blue pencil around the base of that again. And these. I'm going to take my dark green pencil. I'm going to pop that down the side of this and just let that blend right out. And just lighten to the left. There we go. And I think I take my really light green and I'm just going to lighten those little bubble pieces. Right, I'm going to finish these hearts and my border, and then I'll be right back to finish this bottle with you guys, because I think we'll do something a little bit fun. So bear with me. Okay, last little bit. So I've completed the border and filled in all these hearts, so they've got a little bit of shadow, a little bit of tone to them, a little bit of fun, and we're going to finish this last little bottle. So I want to edge the glass in white, so I'm going to edge all the black lines with my white gel pen. It's a strange thing to have in your hair, but we'll leave that to itself. Add a few dots, get rid of some of this black, change it to white, and we'll leave the black label. Right, happy with that. We're going to take our glossy accents and we're going to give that a glossy finish. So the way I work my glossy accents to drop onto the page, I flip it. I will probably have to unblock it. Right, bear with me. I have a pin somewhere. I've learnt my lesson. There we go. I'm going to pop a pin through the top. Just remove the piece that has set and blocked my top nib. There we go. Need to wipe it off your pin. Yep, everything's fingers in my craft room. Okay, so we'll try that again. I always squeeze a little bit out. Oh, come on, guys. In onto a plain bit of paper first. Number one, because I don't want it splodging everywhere, but number two, I want the air bubbles out, and then I'm going to keep pressure on that bottle and drop it straight into the space that I want it to be. You need to keep it moving, and you need to keep a little bit of pressure on so that there is glossy accents coming out of the bottle, and just work it over the area you want it to be, and then release, and it stops you ending up with any English, Emma, use your words, bubbles and patches and things like that. So you release your first bit onto the side to make sure you've no bubbles in there. Just gonna find myself some tissue. There we have it. And then you're not dropping like a bubbling mess onto your page, because that's what makes glossy accents hard work. Clean my pin. And then you're going to need to find somewhere to set your completed piece down, that you're not going like completely out of the way. That needs pretty much an entire day to dry now. You don't want to accidentally close your book. You don't want to leave it at an angle, because your glossy accents, if it's a bit thick, it will run and it will ruin. So you've got to store it somewhere completely flat, book open, that you're not going to put your stuff on it, because I've done all of these things and learnt this lesson before. And that is my completed Enchanted Pages page by Hannah Lynn. I hope you've enjoyed this, guys. Hope it's been useful in some strange, way. And that if you coloured along with me in whatever colours you chose, you had fun. As always, guys, if you enjoyed the video, please do give me a thumbs up, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you for watching.